2, 1.
Oh! Fucking killed it.
Is that
Fucking
cool?
killed it, yeah. I'm happy. I'm very happy.
So for those of you that don't know, I actually make my money as a freelance videographer. I run my own production company right here from my home studio where I shoot weddings. I work in the fitness industry with fitness entrepreneurs, fitness products, personal brands, whatever it is. I also do a lot of work in the sports industry with rowing teams and rugby teams and that sort of thing. And then on top of that, I do a lot of work with a few foundations, corporate gigs, that sort of stuff, restaurants, you know the deal. YouTube is not my full-time thing. Social media is not my full-time thing. That's how I make my money. But for those that do know that, I get a lot of questions from you guys, often relating to how to start to get paid, how to start to get work, and how to start making money with your camera. Start making money with your hobby. Start making money with your passion. But what inevitably happens is you begin to encounter the age-old truth when you send out emails, when you send out pictures, when you send your reel to people, which is you need experience to get hired, but you need to get hired to get experience. It's something we all heard, it's something we all experienced when getting our first jobs, that sort of thing. But luckily for you, in the creative industry, that's not something you need to worry about, because all you need to do to create is have a camera, an idea, and a place to shoot it. So what I'm going to do with this series, or this new series that I'm calling Filmmaker Roulette, is I'm going to be putting a bunch of brands in a hat, from brands that I have in my apartment, that I have on me, that I have in front of me, that I use every single day. I'm going to be putting all those brands into a hat, picking one out at random, and I then have 24 hours to shoot a commercial on that product. So without further ado, let's roll that brand spanking new intro that I made, and let's get into it. I got my little light cover thing that I'm going to use as my hat, I guess. And I'm going to pick one out at random. All right. We're shooting Timberlands, I guess. Timberlands it is. So the first one is going to be my Timberlands. Those are my Timberland boots that I've got just over there. We're going to be shooting those. I need to have a think about what I'm going to do. I didn't really plan much ahead here. Give me just a sec. Come on, bro. Gotta answer me here.
Yo, Tom. What's up, brother?
Hey, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yourself?
I'm good. Are you keen to shoot with me tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow? Yeah, dude. Where you thinking of?
I want to go out to the Black Spur. I've got an idea.
Really? Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Okay.
5 a.m.?
Yeah, I'm in. 5
Alright.
a.m. Let's do it.
I'll pick you up at 5 a.m.
Yo, Tom.
Hey, dude. Do you want to help me film something tomorrow morning?
Absolutely. What is it, man?
Done deal. I've got an idea for a video series on my channel, and I reckon we should go and film it in the Black Spur.
Sounds good. I am free, so I'm down. What time do you want to meet there?
Sunrise, like half an hour before sunrise?
Like 6:30?
6:30. Done deal.
Sweet, man. Sounds very good. I'm excited.
Too easy. Black Spur it is. Good morning. We came back to the Black Spur this morning hoping to get some fog. We got none again for the third time, but we got some of the craziest drone footage I've ever gotten. You guys have seen it before, but today I want to shoot episode 1 of what I think I'm going to call Freelancer Roulette. I think I'm going to call it. It's essentially, you guys saw the introduction. We pulled Timberlands out of a hat, and we're going to make a commercial on Timberlands. I've got a day to do it, I've got a day to edit it, and we're going to see what we can do. Woo! That's sick.
Hey! Can you hear the echo?
As steady as possible, because I think when I'm walking with it, you get my walk. So try and like do the duck walk. Let's do it. So you're recording?
snows in Australia apparently. We're just up at the summit of Lake Mountain, shooting some snow scenes for the Timberlands thing. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's turning out clean. You guys have already seen it, but I don't know, the footage is looking nice. The footage is looking really nice. We just need to get, I think, a thumbnail that includes Timberlands and snow, but I don't know. I don't think it's very clickbaity, is it? I don't know. What do you reckon?
Might be. Just do like one of these ones, Tom. Do one of these ones.
Well, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Maybe. Kyle, what do you reckon?
I reckon it's spot on, mate.
3, 2, 1. You good?
Alright, you ready?
3, 2, 1.
Cool. Yeah, you can go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's gonna look nice. It's gonna look nice. Oh!
Sick.
Fucking killed it.
Is that cool?
Fucking killed it, yeah. I'm happy. I'm very happy. That was a lot of fun and a lot more fun than I was actually expecting. I'm so psyched that I came up with this idea that I'm actually enjoying creating that can be like a staple for my channel that you guys can begin to really enjoy, because I enjoyed making that a lot. I really enjoyed making it. And it's definitely something that I think you guys will really appreciate and could learn a lot from. I really want to treat the end of these videos every single time a bit like how a client would see it. So you guys can start to think like a client, because inevitably when you're doing client work, it's not always send the video off and hear nothing but praise back. Quite often, almost every single time actually, you are going to get feedback that's going to be sometimes, you know, good feedback that you didn't think of, and sometimes the client just wants to have their little touch on the project. So you need to be ready for those scenarios to happen. But a good thing to consider whenever you're doing client work is to think a little bit like a client during the production phase, during the editing phase, and during the review phase. If you can begin to think like a client, you'll know what they want before they even say they want it. So for the Timberlands video, I really liked it. I really liked the concept. I really liked that it was focusing on a story. I really liked that the story was driven from my experience, a consumer's experience with the product. For me, I bought my Timberlands right before I went and lived in Canada for 6 months. So for me, Timberlands really show a sense of adventure. When I put my Timberlands on, I know I'm going to go and do something cool. So I really wanted to portray that in my video. The second thing I really like is the location we picked. I think that it was perfect for what we're doing. We didn't need to use a studio. We didn't need to use any lighting. All we needed to use was our cameras and a location that we knew of. So the variety of shots was something that I thought was really cool that we were able to achieve just from one location. I think I said just before, I think it does portray the brand quite well. I think from a consumer side, at least from my experience with Timberlands. But since finishing the video, I've done a little bit more research like I normally would for client work. And I've realized that Timberlands are actually focusing a little bit more on it becoming a stylistic lifestyle brand. They're focusing far more on the fashion and style of their boots than they are going down the adventure brand road. Maybe they are. Maybe that's just their social media management. Maybe that's just what they're doing at the moment. But from what I've seen, from the little research that I've done, I think they're definitely going for more of a fashion brand than a adventure brand. So I think if I was to do this again, I would definitely incorporate more normal or more lifestyle activities. Maybe going to a coffee shop, maybe getting in the car, maybe doing that sort of stuff rather than just purely adventure. As far as the things that I would change if I was to go back and do it again, the first thing is I would shoot this at a higher frame rate and at a higher shutter speed, just so I was able to freeze that motion a little bit more. Watching over it, it's a little bit disorientating. Looking at it, it's just completely blurred, and you're not actually able to, one, see the product, and two, it's a little bit disorientating. So if I was to do it again, I would probably shoot it all at 60 FPS, and I would probably shoot it at least 1/500, just to freeze that motion a little bit more than it already is. I would probably shoot with a tighter lens, further away from the subject. Obviously, we were quite restricted because it was just me, Ben, and Kyle shooting this. So we're obviously quite restricted by space and then also crew. But if I did have a higher budget, if I was put into doing this project, I would probably pick something like a 70mm, 50mm, or an 85mm, and I would get further away from the subject just to isolate it a little bit more. I would probably also plan each shot a little bit more. So I would use a monitor and I'd match scenes before I actually get back to the editing room. I had to crop a lot of these scenes quite a lot and add lots of keyframes to try and make them match. So I would actually plan these shots by storyboarding, by using a monitor, matching frames, that sort of stuff, to make sure I don't need to do as much editing as I did, because the more editing you have to do, the less manipulation is available, and then also the less quality that you have. The more that you're cropping images, the less quality they're going to be. So that's something I would do. And then the last thing, I would just add more story associated to what their brand direction is actually going in at the moment. Like I said, on their social media page, it's looking like they're going into more of a fashion brand than a adventure brand. So I would probably include more lifestyle activities. Things like maybe if I start my morning making my coffee, I then move out and get in the car. Maybe I go and meet with some friends. Maybe I'll go and have a coffee at the coffee shop, whatever it is. Include more of those lifestyle activities as well as the adventure stuff. Or maybe I'd make an episode 2 of this. So one of them's adventure, one of them's lifestyle. So those would be the changes that I'd make. Overall, I'd give this, and I'm hesitant to give it a good score because I know it's the first one, but overall I'd probably give this commercial let's say a 6.5 out of 10. I don't think it's amazing. I think if I was to send this off to a client, I would definitely receive some feedback. It's a little bit rushed. It was done very quickly, but again, it's the first one, so I reckon a solid 6.5. That's not a fail. It's just a pass. So I don't know, maybe next time we'll be able to make some improvements. If you guys want to put in any recommendations for the next brand that you want me to do, drop them down below and I'll chuck them into the hat. Obviously, I need to have them available to me, so hopefully they're brands that you guys have or you've seen me use or whatever it is. But I hope you've really enjoyed this because I absolutely loved making it. It was a lot of fun to make, a lot of fun to shoot, a lot of fun to edit, and it's a fun concept. I really like this idea. I like the idea that I'm able to go out and show you guys how to start freelancing without having to be hired, because I know how frustrating it can be early on when all you want to do is make money with your camera and you feel like you're talented enough but no one seems to hire you, or the emails aren't coming, or the clients aren't calling you back. So I think this is a really good strategy you can start to use to start building out your portfolio before you've even been hired. For me, for example, I haven't done much adventure lifestyle stuff, so this is now a video that I can put into my reel. I'll have to preface it by saying that Timberlands weren't associated with this. I'd probably have to remove their branding, but this is stuff that I could put into a show reel or something that I could use to send to Timberlands to say, hey, look, I can do this, I can work with your product. I would really like to be considered for future campaigns. And that's all you can really do to begin to get hired. So again, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. But as always, it's entirely up to you, and I'll see you guys next time.